Okay, today you are going to be still studying simple machines. We have talked about mechanical advantage and how to calculate that using the force or using the work. Today we're actually going to get into the 6 different types of simple machines. Those 6 different types of simple machines are the pulley, which is what you're going to be working with today or learning about today, an incline plane, a lever, a screw, a wedge, and a wheel and axle. Okay, now what you are expected to be learning during this or these next few lessons are these things. First, be able to identify those 6 types of simple machines that I just showed you. You should be able to give an example of each of those types of simple machines. And then you should be able to calculate the ideal mechanical advantage for each type of simple machine. And I told you that would be the mechanical advantage without friction under ideal situations, and that's slightly different from the actual mechanical advantage. And there is an ideal mechanical advantage for each type of simple machine. The first type of machine, the one that you're going to be working with today, is the pulley. So what is a pulley? Pulleys are wheels and axles with a groove around the outside. So you will see some overlapping here in our simple machines. Again, we're going to have a pulley, which is a wheel and axle with a groove, and within that groove you're going to put a rope, a chain, or a belt to help spin that wheel. Okay, so types of pulleys and their mechanical advantage. There are different types of pulleys depending on the number of pulleys and how they are arranged. Okay, we have what normally is called a fixed pulley. A fixed pulley would look like this, and that means that the pulley is set in position. It can't not move up and down, and then the rope runs over the groove and you pull downward and lift the object upward. This is a fixed pulley. Okay. A fixed pulley changes the direction of the force. However, it does not change the amount of force being used, so it has a mechanical advantage of 1. So you would use a fixed pulley when it would be easier to pull down than to lift up. You're still going to use the same amount of force. Now, besides fixed pulleys, we also have what are called movable pulleys. And you can see that in this case. You can see that when you pull on the rope, that the pulley actually goes up. Okay, the mechanical advantage of a movable pulley is equal to the number of ropes that support the pulley. Okay, and this will give you a mechanical advantage greater than 1. So in this particular case, there is a rope, there is a rope. So this movable pulley actually gives us a mechanical advantage of 2. We count the number of ropes there. Now, we can use fixed pulleys and moving pulleys together, and that is what we call a block and tackle. Okay, a block and tackle. Okay, some people will call this a combined pulley, but most of you probably have heard the word block and tackle before. Okay, this would be an example of a combined pulley or block and tackle. You can see here that you have 2 pulleys. The 2 pulleys are working together, this one being fixed, this one being movable. Okay, so the mechanical advantage, or the easiest way to calculate the mechanical advantage of a pulley, is simply to count the number of pulleys. Some people will say to count the number of support strings, but in this case it's actually the number of pulleys. Okay, so there's 1 pulley, there's 2 pulleys. That means this particular combined pulley or block and tackle is going to have a mechanical advantage of 2. The disadvantage, or excuse me, the advantage here is that you're going to actually be able to pull with less force. The disadvantage is you got to pull the rope over a longer distance. So you're pulling the rope farther than you are lifting the object. Okay? So most people opt to do this simply because of the less force having to be done. Okay, so again, these are how combined pulleys work, and again, you can add in this particular case, And the mechanical advantage, again, is just the number of pulleys. You can have more than 2. You can have 6, 8. It all depends on how you want to set it up. But every time you add a pulley, you are increasing the mechanical advantage. 3 pulleys have an MA of 3. 4 pulleys would have an MA of 4. Okay, so simply count the number of pulleys. Now, what you're going to be doing next is you're going to be going into your module, or continue through your module, excuse me, and then you need to open up the Gizmo worksheet for pulleys, and then you will need to get into Explore Learning. And remember, again, if you go to the home page on your module and go down to Resources, you can log into that. Okay, to initially get in, you have to use my username, DAREECE, D-A-R-E-E-C-E, all lowercase. And then get into your class and find your name, and then it'll ask you for your password. It is going to be your 2 initials, lowercase, followed by a number. Hopefully you have saved those. If not, you'll need to message me to get that. Okay, once you have got part A done, save that and you can stop. We'll actually be finishing up this pulley gizmo on the next class, or during the next class. So at least have part A done when you come to class, and we can talk about that, and then we will do part B and the extension. Okay, have a great day, and please make sure you get this done.